share the link on Twitter and then just wait for a couple people to join. And if y'all don't join, that's okay. I'll just keep talking as per usual. Um, but yes, too much going on today. So I figured I'd go live and get your guys' thoughts on what happened today. As we know, AJ versus Fury is officially off now that an arbitration judge ordered a third fight with Deontay Wilder, which is ironic because, as we know earlier today, Fury had actually gone to give a message on Twitter or social media saying that he had just gotten off the phone with like some Saudi Arabia people and outlook was good, but apparently not. He was wrong. So he didn't count on the judge giving Wilder the go, giving him the nod. Um, which is just weird. Like, why would you? Did he know the arbitration was supposed to be today and that they were gonna decide today? Because if they didn't, like, then that's why he made the video. But I would have waited to send that video that he sent. So yes, I'll wait like 1 minute. And if someone joins, I'll just like keep talking and make this like a random video. Let me see. Let me share it real quick. Oh my lord. Okay. All right. Okay. So as I mentioned, Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder is supposed to happen. Arbitration judge ordered a third fight. And again, it's kind of sad because Fury had just posted a video about how he had just gotten off the phone with a Saudi Arabian prince, maybe, or Saudi Arabian, whoever is donating money. And of course, we see just weird takes on each side, which, as always, is going to happen. Hi, AB, how are you? Is it true you have to fight by September? According to this article I read, yes. According to this article I read, it does have to happen by September, which kind of makes them lead to like start negotiations now, right? There's not a lot of details yet because I feel like details would come, tomorrow and along the coming weeks. But from what I've seen, yes, that they have to do it, before the end of the year, basically, which basically just proves that the whole Wilder versus AJ versus Fury thing was kind of sucky, right? Like it wasn't a thing. They really try to blackball Wilder. I have to agree with that. It's that's what I'm saying. Like there's people saying that, and this might happen, right? That they're gonna offer Wilder some step aside money, which is likely, right? I'm pretty sure Eddie Hearn, who wants this fight to happen, who basically, as Fury said earlier, they supposedly had gotten off the phone with him, everything was ready to go. I'm pretty sure they're gonna offer him money. But will the money be enough for Wilder to take a step aside, or will he just want the third fight? I don't know. Wilder gonna watch Fury when they meet up again. I don't know what's gonna happen, and I do not necessarily have a prediction. I personally think that Wilder lost the first fight. I think he lost every round that he didn't knock down Fury in, which were 2 rounds. And I obviously he lost the second one, but I wouldn't count him out on a third fight simply because of his power. His power is just tremendous. They might be able to just I don't think they will drop the belt. I think that would no, that I don't think so. I think he would make more money with AJ if he's able to get over Wilder. But I kind of just want to talk more about. Oh, yes, 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 yes. I would love to put you in. I'm gonna send you the link on I'm gonna send you the link on Twitter so I can invite you as guest, okay? Yeah, I'm not necessarily here to talk about who wins and what's gonna happen the second time. I kind of just want to get you guys' thoughts on it, basically. But you guys know that I try to be as, you know, unbiased as possible in the way that I can see why we feel upset about the fact that we were already promised a fight with with Fury, right? We were already promised a fight, Fury versus AJ. We were all ready for it. Negotiations had been going on for a while. We had already gotten in our heads that the deadline had passed for negotiations with Fury, right? And Wilder. So I can see why the fans are upset in that way, in the way that it's like, oh fuck, like I really wanted to see this, and oh fuck. But you guys can't take that out on Wilder, and I'm gonna tell you why. Okay, so Box Talk 101 is here. Hello, introduce yourself, my boy.
What's up, Lily? What's up, everybody? It's Freddie from Box Talk 101.
So what are see, I'm gonna finish my thought because you
Go
kind of
ahead.
made
Hey, you
sense
hear
of.
me okay, though, right? You hear me all right?
Yes, can you
Okay.
guys hear him okay? Let me know. But yes, I try to be as unbiased as possible. I don't have any sides. I don't care who wins. Like I told you guys, Wilder. I thought he lost the first fight. But my issue is that if I just want people to honor rematch clauses, that's it. And of course, I feel like if you already know that you're having a court case with somebody else, why are you already negotiating something with somebody else? And worst of all, getting Saudi Arabian people involved when there's still not a definitive answer on the first thing, in the first fight that you have a contract to give a rematch to. Now, that's my only issue is that I truly do believe that you should follow rematch clauses. And if you don't want to, follow it, then of course there's going to be consequences. So there's this like really immediate backlash towards Wilder. Like, oh, he's keeping us from, this amazing fight that we could get with Wilder and AJ. But if Fury had initially fought him or started negotiations, then that fight would have already happened and he could have possibly beat him a third time. And then we could have already been getting the AJ fight anyway. So those are my thoughts. I am not for or either. I can see why people are upset because again, we've been dealing with these negotiations forever. But also, it's not Wilder's fault. And of course, I'm not gonna blame Fury either because I'm pretty sure he's just trying to get the unification and he's just trying to make the money. And of course, like I'm not, I'm just saying that it would have been avoided if Fury just initially took the fight. And if he believes that he can definitely just get rid of Wilder like he did the second time just as bad, why not just do it, get it out of the way, and you make even bigger money with Fury? But let me know what your thoughts are, Freddie.
So I'm actually, when it comes to the heavyweight division and everything that's going on right now, I actually want to get info from you because I was interested at first. Like when the fights all first happened, like the first Fury Wilder fight, I watched it. I went to theaters and watched it actually. I thought Fury won. And then obviously I watched the rematch. But I guess what kind of turned me off to the whole thing with, I guess, them specifically in that division is everything that happened after, where they talked about the gloves and my water got spiked and
Yeah.
the suit was too heavy, and it's just like, I don't know, dude. Like, drama, just drama, just drama. And I'm like, I don't want to watch novela, dude. Like, I want to watch boxing, you know? And
Yeah,
so
no, I feel
it
you.
really turned me off. So I haven't been paying attention. So that's kind of why I'm like, well, I feel like you know more about the situation. So explain to me kind of what's going on because I see it's making headlines.
Yeah, no. So initially, just after the third fight, yes, I think that's also what you mentioned. I don't, I forgot. I momentarily forgot about that about Wilder making all these outrageous excuses, and of course, that's also going to bring the people against him, and this is why people are going to have these sentiments now, right? But basically, after the second fight, they had a clause to where they would have a third fight if Wilder lost because there was a rematch clause in the first one, but because it was a draw, then the rematch clause turned into, this one.
Hmm.
So that's why they had a rematch clause, but they were supposed to have made it before December 15th of 2020,
For
but
the trilogy?
for the trilogy, yes.
Hmm.
So when that didn't happen and they weren't able to make negotiations, that's when Fury moved along. But Wilder can easily take him to court and be like, "Well, we didn't reach negotiations because of money or because of promoters or because of the COVID." I'm pretty sure he had to do a lot with the COVID thing,
Right.
mainly. So I think that's why Wilder was like, "Wait a minute, no, bitch, you're not gonna go and try to get my belt and go defend it with AJ, right?" So now that's why they started this arbitration process, and the judge today ruled that yes, that Wilder deserves that third fight, even though AJ and Fury, according to the media people, the PR people, that we went to Vegas. I went to Vegas like 2 weeks ago. They had like an event over there, and they told us not to ask. They were very clear and told us not to ask about AJ versus Fury, not to ask Fury anything about the AJ fight because they were also in court in negotiations. I don't know if they just told us that so that we wouldn't ask, or I don't know if it's true that they were also in court. I assumed it's a contract, so of course you're gonna have like lawyers involved and all of that. But it's just ironic because again, earlier, literally earlier today, Fury had gone on Twitter and social media to announce that he had just gotten off the phone with the Saudi Arabian people that are funding the event and building a new stadium just for the event, that it was going to be set for August 14th. Eddie Hearn had already made similar statements anywhere from August 7th to the 14th. They all had made statements, right? About that they were, what was the word that they used? That they were hopeful, that they were positive for a date in August of this year. But here comes a judge, and of course, everybody's talking bad about the judge. Everybody's talking about Wilder, but no accountability is really going to Fury, who, in my opinion, is the person who should be taking the heat here.
Okay, but so if they were hopeful to have a fight in August, I obviously what's making headlines is that Wilder won the arbitration. The court kind of ruled in his favor. Now, does that mean that he is going to get his trilogy fight in Sept? It sounds like that he's supposed to get his trilogy fight by September. But does that mean in the meantime, like, does it block the Fury Joshua fight from happening?
Unless they fight like next month, basically it does. Like I mentioned, these, I think, as the story develops, we're gonna see more as when people leak the official court papers out and stuff, because that's eventually comes public property, right? Anybody could look that up. But I think what is gonna happen is they're going to try to offer Wilder step aside money. But there's two arguments in there
Yeah,
too, which is one, does Hearn really have, or does Hearn, who a lot of people feel like is in trouble with the zone because they overspent money on paying their fighters and stuff, does he have enough money to offer Wilder? And does Bob Arum, who didn't want a purse bid for the Teofimo fight and who doesn't want to renew Crawford's
yeah.
contract, it seems, does he have money and does he want to do that? So it now comes the issue of whether they're going to come up with enough money that Wilder will want to take the step aside money to wait for the winner of that. But I think, regardless of how much they offer him, Wilder is going to say no. I think Wilder is going to stick by the fact that he wants like his trilogy, because in his head he truly does believe that he can beat Wilder. I mean, he can beat Fury, even though, in my
Even though we don't
opinion,
think it can,
I don't.
I don't
I'm
think it can.
I think he can because he has the power, but in my opinion, he lost the first one
Hmm.
just by being outboxed. Fury, Wilder, with Fury, Fury got up.
Yep.
Unless he can land something that's gonna leave him the fuck down, which he can. Because we usually see Wilder as a guy who does better in rematches, right? With Stavern, he
Yeah.
like fucked him up the second time, really
Like
bad. It was
first round, I think.
a goofy ass fight. For how long it lasted, right? So with Ortiz, right? Ortiz was
Hmm.
boxing beautifully in the second fight, and he still got him. So I do think Wilder has what it takes. I do think so, but I don't think that, given the fact that he already lost twice, in my opinion, I would favor Fury, in my opinion, in a third fight. It's
Hmm.
just, again, it's the fans' reaction that I can see from both sides where people are upset because we've been talking about this fight for what seems like forever, and we had already disregarded the thought of a trilogy. That now it's like all the heat is going to Wilder, and not no one's necessarily holding Fury accountable for maybe just giving him the third fight and just moving along and avoided all this. Because if you remember earlier this month, he was talking about how he was sad and a little bit. He was trying to not get depressed because he feels like he hasn't gotten in the ring in a long time. And it's like,
Hmm.
well, you could have already had gotten in the ring had you made the fight with Wilder, but I think it's all pettiness, honestly. He
Yeah.
doesn't want to.
Yeah. I don't think. And you know what's crazy is I actually put money on Wilder both of those fights. The first two fights because I thought, you know what, uh, he can be outboxed, but like you said, the power is his X factor, and he could stop a fight at any moment. It's just got to land. And I thought, I don't think Tyson Fury can avoid him for 12 rounds. Like it's not going to happen. And then when it did happen the first time, I was like, okay, he's not going to do it for 24 rounds. Like it's not going to happen again. And so, yeah, I think this time I'd definitely go with Fury because I put money on Wilder twice and he let me down. So.
No, not just that. I think a lot of people also had the argument that the ref started counting late, that he should have,
Mhm.
started counting earlier. And there's videos of people like who start counting as soon as Fury
He
hits the
touches the canvas.
canvas. And so there's always these theories that are gonna come up, and fans are going to have their own opinions, and they're gonna lean a certain way, right? There's other people who feel like the ref should have waved it off just by the way that Fury fell down,
Yeah.
right? Like he should have waved it off immediately. So it's these things that I guess all brought us to this point. It's just, Eddie Hearn. Like, I know people like do not like Eddie Hearn, but I do feel bad for him in this case because, like, he's been working on this. It feels like he's been talking out of his ass to the media, talking about, oh, we're hopeful. Oh no, it's happening. And then now the judge, dead ass, was like, no, it's not. Right. So it's going to be interesting to see how this develops. Right. But until it develops, people are gonna have like weird ass things to say. There, I already seen people saying that Wilder's gonna take a dive in the third fight. I seen people saying that Wilder's gonna, he just wants to stop it just to get a step aside money and then like let the belt go. Now there's people who are like here. Someone's saying that they will, they think that drop the belt. I don't think Fury would drop the belt. What do you think?
I think that kind of takes away from what they're trying to do, which is unify, all the marbles. I think
Yeah.
that takes a little bit away from it. I don't think they would do that.
I don't think so either. I don't think Eddie will offer Wilder Penny. I don't think Bob will offer him shit either. That's the thing, though. They
And
have
there
both
and
been
there's
stingy with money.
oh fuck, Bob is super. Well, I can't say anything. I'm waiting on my credentials today, but but okay, hold on. Just going back a little bit. So there is zero possibility that Tyson Fury can fight Anthony Joshua in August and then fight what's his name 2 months later or whatever, right? Wilder like 2 months later. That's
I
not gonna
feel
happen.
I would that would be, I think, everybody's fucking dream. I would love that. I would love to see that. The thing is that if Fury loses to Joshua, then
Yeah,
I
there's
don't
no belt for
think,
Wilder.
yeah, then Wilder would
Yeah,
not, like, I think, yes, Wilder wants to, get that, little espinita, right? Como decimos, like,
yeah,
yeah, like a espina that he lost to him. But
yeah.
I still think he just wants his belt back, right? And now his belt is tangled in all this.
Hmm.
So I don't think, and then if let's say Fury does drop the WBC belt or whatever,
Hmm.
then he'll still fight. Wilder can still get the winner of them anyway, if they can even get there. But I don't think so, because if Wilder and Joshua wanted to fight, that shit would have happened when it should have happened before they were both undefeated. So it's just like a fuck. It's just like a clusterfuck right now. The heavyweight
What
division.
if, what if they wild card us and surprise us, and Fury does just like drop the WBC belt, like okay, here you go, give it to Deontay Wilder, or whatever, and then Mauricio Suleiman comes out of the cuts and surprises us by giving Fury the franchise.
Don't say that, please. Please don't
We've
jinx
seen
it,
it
please.
happen. We've seen it happen.
No, I would. That would be. Oh my god! Don't give him any ideas, please, because that does sound like a possible scenario. Like, here,
I
Wilder,
know,
here's
I
your
know.
belt. Go fight with it. Like, go defend it against Andy Ruiz or some shit. No, don't say that. Please don't say that. I would hate for that to happen. Eddie says that I think Fury would definitely drop the belt. They were losing the belts for the second fight anyway. What do you mean they were losing? I don't know what you mean by that. But of course, I think what's funnier is, boxing Twitter exploded when this happened. Everybody was just, some people, again, like I mentioned, were angry about it. Some people were laughing about, the whole, because, they're against Top Rank. So they're like, oh, haha, like you guys are not getting a fight type of shit. So, um, it's just, man, I just when you think this like sport can't get any weirder, like all this shit happens. I think another thing that can happen is Fury has to fight Joshua. I mean, has to fight Wilder now, and maybe Joshua's gonna have to defend his WBO against Usyk, who he had to defend it against had he
Yeah.
won against Andy Ruiz. Right? Andy
Yeah.
Ruiz, he had to do his rematch with Andy Ruiz, but he before that he was supposed to defend after that the WBO with Usyk. So Usyk, I think I'm cool with that just because I feel like my boy deserves a nice payday. Like I'm not
Usyk?
Usyk, yeah, yeah. Like I don't think he's a true heavyweight, but I feel like he
I don't
deserves
think
a
so
nice
either.
payday.
Do you
I
do
feel
you
like he's
think
gonna
do you
get
think he
got.
should do you think he should try out that new Bridgerweight division?
No, I don't
Why
want
not?
no, no. I don't want anybody to give that time of day.
But then he
I
could do that and then go to heavyweight, and if he wins in all of them, he could be a three division world champion.
I don't think he'll get a belt at heavyweight.
I don't think so either.
He's not like I love him. He's like a master class of a boxer, but
He's
the heavyweight
undersized.
is another fucking game. Like it's something different. And Leo brought up another good point too. With legal stuff, Jaron Ennis just ended his own lawsuit today after 2 years, and Jake and the box on Twitter also reported that as well. It's just it's been a crazy fucking day for boxing today, and it's just Monday. Like again, I think like how the news develop is gonna shape on people's thoughts more. Miguel, Bitches Miguel says, I think this is outside the belts while there's due for a rematch. No, I think he wants the belt. Don't you think he wants the
I think he
belt?
wants the belt because if I have to be completely honest, I don't. I would see Anthony Joshua as a payday, like a huge payday, like the heavyweight Canelo, like as close as it gets. I don't see Tyson Fury the same way. Maybe because he's with Top Rank and they penny pinch, but I don't see Tyson Fury as like payday. I think it's the belt. I think Wilder wants the belt.
I think so too. I don't think he would be this pressed about it if it wasn't about the bout, or because if he just wanted to pay it, then he would take the step aside money. Why fight a third time? I
Yeah.
don't think he would do that. I don't, and this is gonna sound really fucked up, but that was embarrassing. Like what happened to him?
What
That
with him
was
getting knocked out?
yes. With him getting knocked out the way he got knocked out, it wasn't just like, well, this is heavyweight, like one punch can change everything. No, Fury beat his ass.
And that's not what we're used to seeing from Fury.
No,
And
no.
obviously, we're not used
We're
to
not
seeing
used to
Deontay
see
Wilder either
yeah,
like
we're
that.
not used to seeing this on either side. I remember watching this like, am I fucking dreaming? Like, am I okay? Did someone spike my drink? I'm like,
If it was
what
the
is
other way
happening?
around, we could have expected
Yeah, of
that.
course. Yeah,
But the way that it happened was like, what the fuck is going on?
exactly. So I feel like I don't me in my right mind, if it wasn't about the belt, I'd be like, I don't want another ass beating. Or even if I believe that I can win, I think there would be the way that I would get my ass beat like that. There would still be a doubt in my head that fuck, this can happen again. I can get my ass beat just like this one more time. And I don't think I would want to risk getting my ass beat like that and getting embarrassed for a second time just for no belt, just for like the money and the shits and giggles. No.
Mhm.
No way. I don't agree with Miguel. But Ari does agree with you saying that Mauricio would franchise Fury.
I could see that happening. And then whatever happens in that Fury Joshua fight could be the undisputed, as we've seen, So
I I just don't like that shit. I don't like the whole
I don't like it either, but it's happened.
it seems very counterproductive, and then it doesn't do well for anyone. This doesn't do well for, this doesn't look good for anybody. It didn't look good against Canelo when he did it. It doesn't look good against, you know, who they give it to also, Lomachenko, right? Then everybody started talking
Hmm.
shit about Lomachenko, saying he's ducking Haney, right? And like that
Hmm.
narrative was fueled by the fact that they made him the franchise. Now they have a reason to believe that he is ducking Haney. right? Because of this belt. And I feel like this belt will, give Fury just as much backlash. Yes, the people love him because he's funny as fuck, but I feel like people will still give him some backlash for that. And the people who already believe he was ducking Wilder for some reason, they'll keep saying that. AJ Fury, the two fight deal, they would be stripped as obligated fight Usyk Joy's winner, same as when Lennox got stripped after he became undisputed. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, even I feel like AJ should, I mean, they should just take this L and fight, Fury fight Wilder a third time, fucking fix that, and then, AJ can fight Usyk, who's his WBO mandatory. And then I guess we just have to wait. And so the fuck does he? Because he brought this up on himself. Like, I don't care for who wins and who's rooting for who. I'm just saying Fury could have avoided this whole thing. Waldemar's revenge is coming from a source in his camp. Yes, but with a belt, I would feel like. I would think with a belt. No, yes, he wants a belt. If Fury can drop it and get out of the rematch. I don't think he can get out of the rematch in this point, and I don't think answering your question, Freddie, from earlier, I don't think he can fight Fury like in August and then fight in September again
Yeah,
because it's
I don't
about
think so either.
it's the lawsuit came with the belt included, and they can't risk him losing that. Whether he would lose to Joshua, that's another thing, but they don't want to risk that, I feel like. Fury top rank have two options to see him fighting Wilder or pay him a lot of money. I don't think Wilder would take the money though. I just don't think he would.
I don't think Bob would offer him a lot of money either. Unless that money's coming from like Joshua and Eddie Hearn and they're like, "Hey, we want this fight over here, so we're willing to help you guys get rid of this little problem."
So
And
what I think is maybe like Hearn is right now on his phone calling all the fucking Saudi Arabian princes like, hey, like you already building the stadium for this? Please send money. Like he's on the phone with all the fucking Saudi Arabian rich motherfuckers because there's no way he's still not gonna fight for this. But even then, I just don't think that that Wilder would say, okay, what number do you guys think that will make Wilder just be like, fine, I'll step aside? Unless, they go to court again. But I feel like all of this is just gonna prolong everything. If they were to go to court again and be like, okay, well, I have to get the winner of whoever the fuck wins. Like I fine, fight, but I have to get a bigger purse for my fight between you guys guaranteed. I feel like that would be a really good solution for Wilder
I
because
think
he
that'd
has
be the best thing for Wilder too.
yes, because he has his a promise to just become undisputed in one fight, and he has more time to train, and he can, I mean, he's taking fucking forever to train. He
He
got
he
enough
should
time.
get he should get a like a I don't want to call it a bounce back fight, but he should get back in there, you know?
Hmm. The thing is that if he should get back in there and then loses, that's that too.
Yeah.
But I feel like he could just because we don't know where he is mentally, right? Look what happened with Kovalev.
Hmm.
Look what happened with Chocolatito the first time he lost, right? It's like all these things that you don't know how they're doing mentally. And then with him making the excuses at first, it looks like he's out of that and he's back to training. But when you make excuses, you're blaming everything but yourself. And you're not focused on like, what did I do wrong so I can like maybe get better at like do
But it
better
was
at
a suit. It was a suit, Lily. It was a suit. It was
no, it
too
was the
heavy.
water and
Oh,
horse
it was the water.
tranquilizers. Horse tranquilizers. See, and that's the thing. There's fans that actually do feel like Fury cheated, and Wilder truly believes that. I can't. I haven't seen anything to indicate to me that Fury cheated. I just don't see that.
I've heard it all. I've heard all of it, and I guess that's why I'm so like, I don't care anymore, cause
And
I
and
don't
that,
know.
that's how Miguel feels. Like he's like whatever. Like what the fuck is happening? And that's why we were invested in it because we're boxing fans. But imagine like the outsiders looking in, like what the
What
fuck
the fuck is going on over there? What the fuck is going on over
the cat the cat meme. What they doing over
there?
there? Like exactly. Right? And that's why I like to come on live and ask people like what do you guys think? Because we're not like, oh, reporters, but we're kind of more into the that angle of it than fans. And I think like we all try to keep it as objective as we can, right?
Mhm.
So that's why I'm like, okay, this is how I feel, but what is the consensus, right? So that's what I try to like go live and be like, okay, what are the people saying? And like we said, there's people who truly believe that Fury cheated. Uh, and I don't think at the beginning, I don't think Wilder thought that Fury cheated, because if he thought that he cheated, he would have said that initially. But instead, it was the suit, it was the horse tranquilizers, there was something in his water. Like I feel like if he really thought that, then he would have, you know, said that initially. He would express those concerns right away. The WBC is not going to get rid of shit because they're making money off of those sanctioning fees.
Yeah. If anything, I have a theory. I think eventually it's gonna be the WBC's version of the WBA Super. They'll have it in every division.
Yeah, the super, regular, silver, what is it? Gold.
Regular, I don't know, world, gold, yeah, silver,
I had
interim.
I had no idea they made a Strada franchise. No idea.
I didn't know that either.
I didn't know that. That's embarrassing. Hopefully this next fight is bare knuckle. AJ, see, that's the thing, Chris. I feel like the Usyk fight with AJ is just that intriguing because Usyk can box well. But so can AJ. AJ has a really good jab, and that's how he was able to keep Andy Ruiz off of him, besides the fact that
Hmm.
Andy Ruiz was like completely out of shape the second time. But AJ has a really good jab. So I don't know how Usyk, being the smaller dude, would use his, usual boxing ability to counter that. But I do he has a chance. I think, if anything, out of all the champions, I think Usyk has a better chance with AJ than any of them.
Really?
I feel like it. Who do you think? Who would you give Usyk the best chance with?
Oh, to beat? If we're talking Usyk, Usyk has the best chance. Yeah, probably against
I
AJ.
think against AJ because AJ's chinny as fuck.
I thought your question was who has the best chance to beat AJ.
No, 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 no.
Yeah,
I just meant like who does Usyk have?
Usyk. Yeah.
Because AJ's chinny as fuck. Like he's chinny. He's gotten hurt by like Povetkin. He's gotten hurt by White. Right? He's gotten hurt by Andy, obviously. And Usyk is not like a power dude, but he does have some power at least, and I feel like he has the best,
He
like.
could fight White for the interim.
But you see, if Usyk were to lose to White, I would be very sad.
I don't think Usyk would lose to White though, to
Me
be honest.
neither, but there's a chance just because of the
Yeah.
size difference. Yeah, I feel like it has to be 50 million plus that they have to offer Wilder. For him to even consider it. 25 million step aside and guaranteed the winner. See, that would be good too. I feel like if he would get the guaranteed winner plus like a hefty ass fucking purse for that fight, that would be like really good because he could, he can just fight one motherfucker for a chance at all the belts, right?
I
I
think
feel
I
like,
I think that would be his best bet because if Joshua wins, I think we finally get the fight that for a long time a lot of us wanted, right?
yeah, oh yeah.
And I really like Wilder's chances in that fight actually. I
With
really do.
I like his chances better with AJ than I do with Fury.
I agree. And if he doesn't, if Joshua doesn't win, if Tyson Fury wins, well then you get what you wanted in the first place. Except this time he has all the belts, so like why
I
not? Why
I
not
think
let him fight?
collectively, also as fans, we just want an undisputed.
Yeah, we do.
Like regardless to what happened, and let's say we're gonna have an undisputed next Saturday, which woo, right? If Canelo fights Plant, we're gonna have an undisputed then in September, right? We have undisputed with wait Usyk,
Charlo,
no,
Charlo and
Charlo,
Castaño.
Charlo and Castaño, right? Charlo and Castaño, amazing again this year too. So by the end of the year, we can have 4 or 5 undisputed, which shit, that's a dream,
Mhm.
right? So I just feel like regardless of how we feel about the situation, we just have to be happy that we got undisputed champions.
Wait,
And,
did
and
you not mention Teofimo?
the Haney stands are gonna come for me if I do. Okay, let's get through the comments and then we can move on to the Saturday's fight because I feel like we should talk about that too.
Yeah.
But okay, he's not taking step aside. Yeah, I don't think he's taking step aside either. Miguel says so it's not really step aside if Fury doesn't fight Wilder, they just would sue for breach of contract. Yeah. Basically, I don't think it would be a step aside money or any of that. I think Wilder just wants the third fight and now he secured it and that's it. Thank you, lazy lefty. Happy arbitration day. Har- how do you guys hop on? I have to send you guys a link, but I don't know you guys' username on outside of here. I have to send you guys personally a link. Usyk nearly lost to Chisora. He's not beating AJ. He did. When did he almost lose? What fight was I watching? Was I drunk? No, because that fight was in an afternoon. I don't think I was drunk. What did I miss? I don't remember that. Usyk gets knocked out by all the top. I think so too. That's why I don't want to see it. He's probably one of my favorite boxers ever. He's funny as fuck. And was a heavyweight before? When in the amateurs where the weight classes are different, or
Yeah, he
where
was a heavyweight. I think amateurs has super heavyweight too. No.
something like that. Box
Yeah.
talk. You look like a fighter. Have you boxed?
No, no. Everybody always told me that. I mean, I try to stay in shape, but I started too late, so no.
Hey, Maravilla started late as fuck.
What age did I started at 26?
I think he also started like late ass
I
20s.
know, but I'm not Maravilla, so.
All right, so let's talk about it was okay, Eddie. I will watch it again. I got all the fucking time in the world right now, so I will watch it again. I'm Happy TV UK. Hey, UK person, hello. Wilder should fight Fury as contracted. AJ should fight. See, a UK person that is not being biased. Thank you very much for that. We appreciate it because I rarely see that. I appreciate that as fuck. He started at 29.
Oh, this
Uh,
he's just trying to make me look bad. He's trying to say I had plenty of time. I got kids, bro.
I know. Once you got king, you got shit time for nothing. So let's actually move on to an, in my opinion, a UK fighter who can actually avenge all the Mexican fighters who has gone over there or who have come here and beat the fuck out of UK fighters. I feel like if there's anybody with a chance to beat somebody, to avenge the Mexicans, to avenge the UKs, I mean, right? This guy, Josh Taylor, has the best chance to be like, fuck you, Mexicans, for every British fighter that you guys knocked the fuck out. And I'm not saying it'll be an easy fight because, Taylor has had his share of, tough fights. He had also had a tough fight with Posto. People love to bring up Posto with Ramirez, but Posto gave Taylor just as much of, just as much of a fight. He kind of got a little hurt by Baranchik momentarily there. So I feel like if it's an inside fight, I think Ramirez has a chance because Ramirez is so good, right? In his inside game. Taylor's big to me though. I don't know. I want Ramirez to win, but I just feel like he loses. A close fight though.
I think Ramirez is gonna win. I think he's gonna stop Josh Taylor.
I would love that. I would cry. I would like jizz myself. Like I would be so fucking happy for weeks. Which routine and speed do you guys think is best? 140 Ramirez Taylor or Castaño or Canelo Plan? That's a good one. I think Ramirez Taylor because both of these guys did it what every boxer should do. They became champion, defended their title, unified, defended or whatever, and now they're being undisputed. That's what every boxer should do. Win your title, defend a couple, whatever the fuck, do your mandatory, and then always look to be undisputed,
I,
right?
I think I think with them too, the path that like how they got there was more. It's more clear to me. It's more memorable. Where with the 154, I know Charlo has like a couple of the belts, but I don't remember who was the champion before. Castaño just beat God, what's
Teixeira.
his name?
Teixeira.
Yeah, and I don't remember who the champion was before then, to be honest. The
Teixeira, I
WBO
think,
champion.
wasn't it? You're right. I
I
don't remember.
couldn't tell you. I
But
couldn't
it
tell you
was
if I tried.
vacant. But you know who's gonna know Miguel? I think Teixeira got it vacant. But
The
you're
the
right.
the 140 one was more memorable to me, also because they had the World Boxing Super
Oh yeah,
Series at one
the
point,
World
remember?
Boxing Super Series,
Which I
huh?
thought was cool, and I was kind of bummed out that Ramirez wasn't a part of that. But then I looked at also the guys that top rank had right at 140, and I'm like, dude, they got a stable there. They got a lot of good fighters at 140, so Ramirez was fighting those guys too.
Also, the fact that Josh Taylor came to top rank, right? Like it's like yeah, I agree with you 100%. The build up to this and the way the paths crossed, it was like shit, this is awesome. right? I think second would have to be Canelo just because it's so short time.
I
Yes,
don't
one
like it.
motherfucker.
That's my least favorite out of those three.
I think it's my second because it's just fast,
So
right?
quickly, yeah.
But Smith had like half of those bitches, right? But I think they were very flashy, decisive victories. I expected more from Smith. I at least expected him to motherfucker do something. He didn't do shit, right? So Canelo got those belts easy as fuck. With Saunders, I appreciate that Saunders gave him a fight. I appreciate that Saunders came and showed up and actually tried to fight, not just like went against the ropes and just fucking sat there,
He
right?
made it entertaining. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I do appreciate that from Billy Joe Saunders, and I think Plant's gonna do the same. I think Plant's not gonna just be like, oh, right. I think he's gonna try. So I would rather Canelo have fought Benavides. I think Benavides is one of the guys that I think gives Canelo the best fight, in my opinion. But that's not gonna happen.
I think he's
Um,
number two right now,
yeah, I don't
in
think
my
it's gonna
opinion.
happen though. It's not gonna happen. I don't think Canelo's gonna fight him. Now I like I like Charlo and Castaño too, and I love that Castaño's going straight to Charlo because
Yeah.
he could have just been like, hey, I'm gonna hold on to this bitch for like a couple fights and then fulfill my
And we see
responsibility.
that. We see that a lot with the WBO. I don't know why, but I noticed that we see that a lot with the WBO where that guy's like it doesn't matter what weight class. That guy's always doing his own thing. And we
Yeah.
saw it with Demetrius Andrade and numerous fighters. But I like that he's going straight for the
Yep.
unification. I think that's dope.
Exactly. Yes. So I love that for him. I don't know. I don't know
I
that
think it's a bad
that's.
idea,
I don't know. Think that's in his
but I
best
like it.
interest.
As a
But I
fan,
fuck
I'm
with
like,
that.
that's great.
Exactly. We respect that, right? We respect that, but I don't think that's gonna end well for him. Right? And I think what drives me more about this is that Jermel, 154 Charlo, is such levels above Jamal.
Yes.
Like
I've
you
been
can
saying
tell
that for a
he's
long time. Yes.
hungrier. He's not taking no cupcake fights he had at the beginning, but now he's like, okay, I got the belt. Let me step the fuck up. I got the belt. Let me start acting like I have a fucking belt. And that Rosario fight, I thought that was gonna be close. That was a pretty competitive up until then, but Charlo did not shy away, right? And what can you say for Big Charlo? Derivchenko, like right, like that's
Even
what.
even like me for a long time, I was really high. I started watching from when he was younger, Erickson Lubin, and I was really high on Erickson Lubin back when he was signed with like Mike Tyson Promotions. A lot of people don't even remember that. And so when he finally, and he had been like calling these guys out forever, both of the Charlos. He's like, I don't, because they were both in the same division back then. And he's like, I want these guys, I want these guys. And then finally he got it, and I was like, I was stoked, I was excited, and I was going for Lubin, and Charlo made it look easy. And Lubin hasn't been the same since. And I'm like, damn, dude, he did him like that. He did him dirty.
Bro, I still remember what Charlotte tweeted. Has Lubin woken up yet, or something like that? Like he's like, you're still sleeping, and then he tweets about like things. He posted that
Dude,
Thanksgiving tweet about him. He just plays too much. So Adi says, what about to we're about to see another UK upset. And then there's someone saying Josh Taylor beats Ramirez. Team Ramirez. Motherfucking season has hella balls, and I'm like, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, besides Fury, I think Taylor is like the only legit guy that like won't take a knee. Like I just feel like he is just he's had like his good share of fights. It's not like, oh, who the fuck has he fought? Who knows? Like he's had good fights. Eddie says Taylor will have ring rust and has changed trainers. When was it? I thought he took like a fight a couple months ago and it was like a super easy fight, wasn't it?
um,
He had an easy ass fight from what I
I don't
remember when
know.
he first got signed to Top Rank. Remember?
I
He
don't remember.
he had an easy ass fight. Miguel says Josh Taylor is the best fighter out of the UK.
That's
Yeah.
not saying much. Sorry. You
um,
didn't say it, I did it.
yeah. Hey, you waiting for your top? He's still with Top Rank. He's still with Top Rank.
Yeah, but Top Rank, they're gonna be behind Ramirez on this one. Trust
Yeah,
me.
this is the longest. Yeah, I'm betting money on Ramirez. Teixeira fought Adames for a vacant belt. I remember it was vacant. I just don't remember who the fuck he fought. Happy TV. Okay, this motherfucker's beating Canelo in that weight class till he retires. No motherfucker. Oh, sorry. No motherfucker's beating Canelo in that weight class till he retires, but he has to retire at the right time. Know when to close the occasion. Only Floyd Mayweather beat him, and could he's the goat. Yeah. I think I agree. I think to for someone to be Canelo has to be someone at 175, or it can be Benavides in a couple of years. But now, like if that what happens, like in the next 2 years, I still think Canelo beats Benavides. I think Benavides gives him the best fight, but I think Benavides still loses because he's super vulnerable to the body. He's kind of robotic in his approach. Every time he fights, he's just coming forward like this. He leaves everything down here open. Like he
Yeah,
gets hit a lot to the body.
and
And
he
I
doesn't
feel
have the best footwork.
yeah, no, he just comes forward. Like watch him even against like ¿cómo se llama? The guy that he won the belt and against again. ¿Cómo se llama?
Was it Darrell?
Darrell, right? So against Darrell, if that fight he it was like he was winning, but I feel like Darrell was landing really decent shots. And again, he always just comes forward like stiff. In my
Hmm.
opinion, Benavides has fast as hands,
The
amazing
fastest, I think.
yeah, fast as hands, amazing combinations.
Hmm.
And he has power, obviously.
Hmm.
But he's so fucking stiff. His footwork is lacking and doesn't protect himself. He's always with his hands like down fucking here, or he's like this, but he's not like protecting. He's just like I'm having them here because I'm gonna punch. So in
Now,
my opinion, Canelo,
does he present a size issue for Canelo?
yes, and I think that's like the biggest thing. It's the reach, it's the height, and it's the power and the fast hands. Right? Because Benavides has really fast hands too.
Yeah.
So I think that, but I just feel like he's also perfect for Canelo because of the counters. Because Canelo thrives off of motherfuckers coming at him like that, and Benavides is gonna come at him like that because Benavides knows he's bigger, he's high, he's taller, he's fast, he's strong. He's gonna try to do the worst on Canelo, but Canelo can, if he can take that, he's gonna just counter him all fucking night, and especially to the body. And I feel like that's how he would win. But I just feel like he would still give him the best fucking fight.
Yeah, I have Canelo winning that fight too, but I think it would be the most entertaining fight for us fans, and probably the most
Actually
competitive one
competitive. Yeah, someone
for
who's
Canelo
actually
right
gonna
now.
challenge Canelo.
Right
Right? It's
now,
actually gonna
yes.
challenge him.
But
Yeah, you're right. Munguia dropped the belt. So Teixeira and Brian Castaño have the belt that Munguia dropped. That's true.
oh, yeah. But I think Canelo. I mean, Canelo is like what 30 right now.
30, yeah.
I hope he sticks around for. I don't know when he plans on retiring. We see a lot of these guys go past 35 and they're still doing it. If he sticks around for even like 2, 3 more years, that maybe still might be a little too soon, but it does give a lot of time for these younger guys to climb up because there's a lot of younger guys down here that nobody's mentioning because
Who
it's
do
too
you
soon.
think? Who do you think? Who do you see now that you like, oh, and let's say Canelo stays till he's like 35. That then that his reflexes are a little bit more, not as sharp. Who do you think? I don't think I see anybody right now
I
besides
do.
Benavides.
I don't know what they'll be in 5 years. I don't know how good they'll be. We'll see then. But
Also, dudes start at like 147 and then move up.
yeah, but the names that I see right now that I'm like, oh, these are really really good prospects. Obviously, everybody's talking about Berlanga. Um, yeah. What do you mean? What's that face for? Everybody's talking about Berlanga.
Yeah, but he's not beating Canelo. Not now, not in 5 years.
No, he's not. But
He's
that's a potential mega fight.
if he don't get knocked the fuck out by then.
Yeah,
He has
we have.
a potential to either be a Mike Tyson ass bitch or a American ass bitch.
But we don't know where he'll be in 5 years.
I predict more of an American.
Diego Pacheco is there.
Mm-hmm. But he's tall as fuck though, and he's already at 160. I feel like he's gonna be like 168, 175.
Alexis Espino is there.
I thought Espino had like a different, like a tough fight.
Yeah. Obviously, there's guys below that maybe one day they'll get up there. Joey Spencer, Lorenzo Simpson,
Mm.
those guys. But we don't know yet because they're 154, 160. They're not 168.
Joey Spencer's 154.
Joey Spencer's 154.
Okay, is that little
Uh,
white kid like looking like with a cut, like right? Like he fights in PBC undercards.
yes,
Yeah, yeah,
yes,
yeah. He's like
yeah.
19,
I
right?
think so. I mean, dude, even we don't know. Maybe Fedora will fill out at 160. We don't know.
I would love that. Comparing Taylor and Ramirez, Taylor took the way tougher path to undisputed, the elite tournament. I mean, yeah, you can say that for sure. Okay, let's. Oh shit, we're behind. Oh my god, I'm sorry, we're like behind on the comments. Are you using reverse psychology, Ramirez versus Taylor? No, wait, what reverse psychology? I just feel like Taylor is just bigger, and I'm not trying to do, I'm not trying to root for against Ramirez, but damn, this is hard. I remember Lubin with Mike. He skipped the Olympics to sign with Mike.
He was really good. He was
Hmm.
tearing it up. That's why I thought he was a legitimate threat to the Charlos, but
Well,
that
he's the
didn't.
one that dropped Berlanga, right?
Yes, in sparring.
Yeah. Mm. It's just sparring boots, dude. Says, saludos, chicos. Let's go, Ramirez. I hope he looks good. Hello, Agustin. This will be fight of the year type of fight. I think. And okay, Freddie, I know you're waiting on your credentials, but why isn't Top Rank promoting this, in your opinion? What is wrong with them?
I have no idea. I don't understand. I'm confused. And you know what? I can't tell you who's on the undercard. I can't.
Uh, Cepeda's an undercard.
Is he? That's great. Well, I don't know if that's maybe to set up like a future. I
Yeah,
like watching
I think
Cepeda.
so. Yeah. And then, oh,
There's like they're not promoting it.
I
The
remember seeing another. Oh, it's that Dominican kid, that Dominican 135 or 130. What's his name? He's like a Dominican kid who's like super.
Rivera
I think
undefeated.
yes,
Dropped Gabriel
Morenito,
Flores in sparring.
Morenito. I don't know about that. Michael,
Yeah,
Michelle.
I've heard people calling him Michelle. Is it Michael or is it Michelle?
It's
I think we're talking about the same guy.
Michelle. Se llama Michelle, not
Let me see.
Michelle. Michelle. Michelle Rivera or something
Oh,
like
it doesn't have an A. You're right. It does not have an A in it.
that.
Michel
It's
Rivera.
Michelle.
Yeah, I'm
He's in
looking
it.
at it right here.
Yeah, he's in it. Um, I think it's because it's not pay per view, and they already know that it's gonna be on ESPN, so they're just like, whatever.
Yo,
Like they don't
yo,
gotta sell anything.
that's
They sold capacity. Like they don't care, in my opinion. Like
yeah.
they're just like,
But
whatever.
wouldn't
ESPN's
you want to
already
do good
showing it.
numbers like viewers?
Well, they feel like it's gonna be on ESPN on prime time. Like,
Hmm.
but this is such a big deal, and I think like at least in the boxing circle that we are, it deserves all the fucking attention, and they're not
Yeah.
doing anything about that.
This is the type of fight that if you don't watch boxing and you just happen to turn on your TV and you see that this is on, this could turn you into a boxing fan.
Exactly. So
Which
at
is why
least
they
do
should promote it.
that. Yes.
Yeah.
Right. They should have. Dude, I live like 10 minutes away from the Stuff Up Center or whatever. Every morning when I go to work, there's already the banners for there was banners for the Andy Ruiz fight. There was banners for the Figueroa fight. I went by today and they had fucking banners for the Donaire fight. Like they're big ass jumbotron ass by the freeway. All these fights are in a jumbotron by the freeway, like the moving one, not just an ad. Like date, tickets, whatever. Right? They have that. Like, why don't we have that for this fight? I feel like every sport in ESPN should have the little tickers at the bottom about it. They should have like banners on it. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't watch TV, so maybe I should shut the fuck up. Maybe they are doing that, but I haven't seen anything.
What was the fight that was recently pay-per-view? Oh, Ruiz Areola
Hola, huh?
pay-per-view fight. If that event, whatever, would have been free, and this one would have been pay-per-view, I still would have paid for this one,
Mhm.
for Ramirez Taylor
Of
over
course.
over Ruiz Areola.
I'm surprised this wasn't pay per view, to be honest.
It's weird. Hey, but to touch up real quick on that Michel Rivera guy. I don't see that he's on the card, which is one thing that's weird. But you know how you even said he's a 135 pounder, and
Mhm.
I know that too off the top of my head. I know the guy's a 135 pounder. His last fight was at welterweight. Yeah, I'm seeing that right now. I was like, what the hell?
Well, I feel like they do that right now because they just take whatever they can get.
Yeah, it's weird.
But yeah, I know because he talks shit about Ryan.
Does he?
Yeah.
I've never seen him in an interview or something. I just saw clips of him sparring that people sent to me, and I was like, oh shit, kid's pretty good.
Yeah, he's good kid. He's I think so. Elite Rifle says, "Tell Freddie I said what's up." So let's see. Motherfucker been chin checked before, and once a solid fighter fights will be exposed. I think they're talking about Berlanga there. Only fight that gives Canelo trouble at 175 is Bertabiev. Yes, but also Bertabiev is getting old, but he does have that power though.
He's like 36.
Yeah, yeah. So what good does that come out of? People are just gonna be like, "Well, Canelo's just fighting this old motherfucker."
If that fight were to happen tomorrow, I'd say that's
Yeah.
probably the most competitive fight, maybe besides Benavidez. But again, he's too old.
Well, Eddie Reynoso hinted that if Canelo becomes undisputed, they would chase him. Which
I hope he
why
stays. I hope he stays at 168. Like I said, I want to see him fight those younger guys eventually. Even if he does beat them all, like
I don't care
that's
about the
impressive.
younger guys. I want him to fight Charlo when Charlo moves up.
Yeah, with those guys, him and Andre got to get a fight at
Yeah.
168 first,
Mhm.
and then I think that strengthens their argument a little bit to get that fight.
Yeah, once they move up, of course.
Yeah,
Um. Oh, so Eddie says the fighter has also had zero promotion in the UK. Why?
that's because they don't want the UK fans to be disappointed when Josh loses. They don't want them to tune in. They don't want them to tune in
They're like, damn, we already had like too many of them lose. No, don't say that. Why? Why though? For real?
because his name is Josh.
Was that you that tweeted that?
Yeah, yeah, you don't
It's a
remember?
guy named Josh.
If his name is Josh and he comes from overseas to fight in the US, he's gonna lose.
Miguel said Top Rank doing like a mini series of the fight they did with Berchel vs. Oscar, and they're on YouTube, but ESPN are not doing anything to promote it. Oh, I haven't seen those. I watched them tonight though. I didn't know that.
I think I did see that. I haven't had time to watch it, but I saw that they uploaded them to YouTube.
I just saw that he went live with Marcos earlier. Or I don't know if it was a live or a pre-recorded interview that they just premiered, but I saw it earlier at work. LDBC forced the You guys need to not stop. People are saying Ryan ducked Fortuna. Oh yeah, that's another one. And Ryan's mom already posted that Rolly full of shit that they're not giving him no fight because he's a cloud chaser.
I talked to Rolly
But Rolly's stupid. I
yesterday
don't.
or the day before.
I talked to
And
him
it's
the
funny
day
because
he said it. I'm like, bro, you're not fighting Ryan. He's like, yeah, I am in August or September. I'm like,
so
no, you're not.
I already knew. I talked to Rolly almost every day. I
He's full
already
of
knew
shit.
his opponent before, right? I knew his
Yeah, he
opponent.
told me his opponent too.
And then I hear all these rumors. I'm like, what are you guys talking about? And they're like, that's what Rolly's saying. And then when I talk to him, I'm like, do you want me to tell people that? Because I'll tell people that if that's what you want. Just, I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, no, he told me who he's fighting. Cause that when I went to that event, he was like, oh, I'm already in talks with this person. And then later he's like, yeah, no, I'm fighting this guy. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Like,
There's a
next week.
method to his madness. Trust me.
He's
He's.
just he. Hmm. So when I told him, like, I saw the Mayweather channel had an interview with him. I didn't watch the
Mhm.
interview, but I saw the title.
I
I'm
saw the
like,
clip only, just that little clip.
yeah, no. I took a picture of the screen. I'm like, you're so full of shit, bro. He's like, oh, I'm gonna fight him in August or September. I'm like, okay. I'm like, I'll believe you when you send me a picture of the fucking signed contract.
He said there was a contract, and obviously he knows I'm going to his house like whatever this week. So I'm like, all right, I'll see the contract when I get there. He's like, yeah, you'll see it. I'm not gonna see a contract.
No, he's full of shit. But he does it just, because he's fucking bored and he has nothing else to do. I feel like that's why just to keep, in people's mouths. That's
Hmm.
just what he does. But yes, Elvis versus Sims. Yeah. And then I know Cepeda was supposed to have a really decent fight, but the opponent got injured or something. And then the commission didn't approve another opponent. So there was like bullshit with that too. But I'm excited to see Cepeda just because, he had a fight of the year last year for sure.
You want Haney versus Linares.
Oh,
It's a
that's
great
also
fight.
happening the
Yeah,
29th, right?
it's a great fight. Yep.
I think L- Linares is chinny, but so is Haney. In my opinion, Haney's chinny.
I think Haney's gonna outbox him. I wish we would have seen this happen like a year ago or
Yeah.
two when Linares still had more left in the tank. I don't know
Yeah,
what he
Linares
has
no, he don't have
now.
nothing.
I thought he
No.
looked great in his last fight, but
Yeah, but it was Morales.
yeah, exactly.
That was just Morales. It's like a C-level guy. No offense to him. He gave us good fights. He gave Ryan Garcia a good fight, right? Before Ryan was with no,
Mhm.
was Ryan already with the Reynosos when that happened? Was it I
I
think that
don't
was his
remember.
first fight maybe with the Reynosos.
It's hard to keep up with him. He blocked me.
All right. Caleb Plant fight not happening with Canelo. I think it does. I feel like Canelo would pay for that fight to happen.
Yeah, I think
Like,
Caleb Plant wants the money.
yeah, he does. What do you think about potential Danny Jacobs versus Joe Smith Jr.? I was, I don't know. I feel like Danny Jacobs has disappointed me too much.
So is Joe Smith. For me, I'm not high on either one
I'm more high on Joe Smith.
because he's the common man.
Yes.
He's a little too common though. His last fight, he looked like yeah, maybe you are just a regular guy.
Yeah, but he works 9 to 5 and in construction, so I feel like that's like a hero. Kind of like Jamal Herring, like and like Andrew Cancio, like they're normal people, but like they come over here and kick ass.
But I feel like even Herring has more like I
Dude,
want to say like a personality.
yeah, no, not just that. No offense, yeah, like Smith is just like this white guy. But
Herring's a really nice guy, yo.
dude, not just that. Like when Herring first became champ, I'm like, okay, whatever. But then you see him fight, and you're like,
I thought it was a
wait a
fluke.
minute.
I'm not gonna lie.
You're like, wait a minute, motherfucker. Like, where do you, what, why have you been going under the radar for so long? Like, he
Yeah,
has all the tools, and when you don't think he has the tools, he just pulls them out from, like,
and
what do
he's
you,
big. He's
yeah.
big.
So, like, with Oscar, I'm like, hmm,
Yeah,
right?
I don't
Like,
know. We'll
obviously,
see.
I can't go against Oscar too much because he proved me the fuck wrong with,
Me too.
with Berchel. I thought Berchel was gonna decapitate his ass,
Me too.
right? I'm like, oof. I thought Top Rank was just serving Berchel, Oscar Valdez in a platter, like this motherfucker already, he's damaged goods. Here you go. And shit. So I can't really go against Oscar Valdez, especially because he's one. I think he's the most disciplined fighter I've ever seen in my life.
Hmm.
Like when I used to go to Legends, he was always there early as fuck, and he would start working out before the coaches got there, and then he would like just be there. And I know other champions who were there who would get there at like 1 p.m., do little whatever the fuck, spar like 3 rounds, and then book it. And they were also champions.
Are people still going to that gym? I used to hear a lot about them, and now I don't.
No, Legends is no more.
Oh, okay, that's why.
Yeah, Legends is no more. But I just feel like that's why I can't, like I can't go against Valdez. But I just feel like Herring is like much more than we initially thought too.
Yeah, for me, definitely. Yeah.
Also, Hendrik said they have all US boxing pages on Instagram promoting for free. They don't even spend a dime.
And that's fine. That's okay as long as they give us credentials. But if they don't give us credentials, they could a la verga.
I heard Rolly say, yeah, Rolly's just Rolly. Rolly's just Rolly, and that's it. It's not happening.
It's happening.
Just go with it.
That's what I told him. I said, "Hey, do you want me to just roll with this? Like, I'll go with this." And he's like, "No, what do you mean? It is." I'm like, "Okay."
Eh, he wants to convince himself. David Benavidez,
He's like, "You're saying that like if you don't believe me." I'm like, "That's because I don't."
that's because we like know him. David Benavidez is 6'2", 78 reach. Is that your argument for why he is beating Canelo? Because that's a valid argument, I feel.
Uh, yeah.
David's gonna get gunshot when Canelo starts popping him when the power counters. I don't think. I think all of them do because it's like he says, they can talk shit all they want. But Benavidez is such a nice guy. Like he doesn't talk shit. He's very respectful,
Hmm.
and he still comes at you. Like I don't think he. I mean, yes, I feel like he's no one's gonna just launch at Canelo, especially after feeling the shots. But I think David is one of the guys that I do truly believe will give Canelo all he has.
Do you think Canelo would instill some kind of rehydration clause against Benavidez?
He hasn't been. He hasn't been doing that, and I feel like if he would do that, then Mexicans would hate him even more. You
No.
know what I mean? I think he's past that. Let us pray that he's past that shit because I am sick of that shit. What do you guys think about Chris Colbert versus Gamboa?
Slaughter.
Dude, Gamboa's been done like 5 fights ago. He's been done. And Chris Colbert is one of those guys that's like, I think we should also be paying much more attention to him. Very, very
Yes.
talented dude. He's really fucking good, this kid.
I think this is a good fight for him though if he manages to
Stop him.
take Gamboa out because that's
Slaughter him.
bragging rights over somebody like Devin Haney who
Yeah.
wasn't able to do that.
And Gervonta. Gervonta only got him out late, like
Like
11th
late,
round or
like the
something.
12th round or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
So I feel like, yes,
barely.
of course, like for bragging rights, like yes, he's older, but none of the other guys did it, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like this will be good.
That's all it's for, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, like a measuring stick type of thing. Linares always looked the part. Yeah, but he's chinny.
Yeah.
I want Joe Smith. Better be no. Better be able to
Damn. You don't like Joe
destroy.
Smith.
Better better be. I think would. I mean, I would love to see that, and I would actually give Joe Smith a better chance before his last fight. After the last fight, I'm like, wait a minute. I think Better be still like destroys him. Tony says Joe Smith has better chance versus Bertabiev. That last fight was too slick for Joe. Maybe, but I think Bertabiev still, he did beat Volzdik, who, in my opinion, had the best
I
shot against
I
him.
thought Volzdik was gonna
I
win.
thought Volzdik was gonna
I
win.
thought Volzdik at 175 was a monster.
Not just
And
that, because he's also, Ukrainian, so they have that like boxing ability, and he
yeah,
has boxing ability and power, and he basically gave
he represented
Stevenson a
Ukraine
fucking
in the
coma.
Olympics, I think.
He gave. Remember what he did to Stevenson?
Yeah, yeah.
He gave him like a coma, right? Like he may put
Yeah,
him
he
in a
retired
coma,
him, I think. I'm pretty sure he retired him.
but he had like brain damage,
Yeah.
right? So it's like to
And
see him.
Baturbiev knocked him down like how many times? And then they stopped it, I think, eventually.
Yeah, they stopped it a little too late, in my opinion. But man,
And and
I
and
thought he
Volzdik
was
was a
gonna beat.
bigger guy too.
I thought he was gonna beat Bertabiev in a really close fight,
Me
but
too.
Bertabiev had other plans. We don't talk about that shit
I actually did watch it. I'm not gonna
here. Because you have a lady that I'm pretty sure watches
porque
that.
estoy
Unless
casado.
you did it by yourself, no judgment.
No.
They taking turns on Gamboa. Pause. Wait, who's taking turns on Gamboa? All the up and comers? But Gamboa's there for it. He's not complaining. I'm pretty sure he enjoys the purses as well. Especially because again, he hasn't been hurt. It's not like he's gotten like fucking knocked the fuck out.
The most damage he took was to his Achilles or whatever.
Yeah.
Like in I forgot who he fought. It was at the
Gervonta fight, right?
that was a Gervonta fight, yeah.
Dude, I think that was my favorite moment that Gervonta tweeted something along the lines of, "Oh, Gamboa came up to me after the fight and said I was the best fighter, something." And Gamboa actually quote tweeted. He was like, "No, I didn't."
I didn't see that.
He's like, "No, I didn't." He said something along those lines. Like he's like, "I thought I like came up to you and gave you respect, but I didn't call you that you've been the best fighter. Like I never said that." So I'm like, bro, like poor
I was so
Gervonta.
distracted by the shoe that whole
Lalo,
fight. I
jump
didn't.
in. Lalo, jump in.
Lala versus Taylor, who y'all got? Break it down.
Lalo, jump
Ramirez.
in with us.
I got
Wanna jump
Ramirez.
in? Lalo, I'm
Yeah,
gonna send it to you on Twitter. See if you want to jump in,
get on here,
because
Lalo.
obviously you had an interview with Ramirez not too long ago. Lalo had an interview with Ramirez. Lalo super close with Ramirez.
Get drunk together.
They get no,
I just play. I just play.
no, así se hacen los chismes. Así se hacen los chismes. No, someone's already starting beef with Lalo.
I agree.
Oh, Canelo is in the face of boxing.
I
Who do
agree.
you think is the face of boxing? Then that's interesting. Who do you think is the best of boxing, Freddie?
Floyd Mayweather.
The face.
Yep.
Josh Taylor's the face of boxing.
I think
Who's the
no,
face of?
Floyd Mayweather.
Oh, shit. To this day, even though he's retired,
To
he's
this
still
day.
the face of boxing.
And that says a lot. I think
To
that
this
says a lot.
day, literally to this day, like that says everything you need to know.
I know a lot of people don't like it, but I think that just speaks volumes about
To this day.
how much.
To this day.
To this
I think
day.
that just speaks volumes of like the gaping hole he left. Like, damn, we're trying to fill it with Canelo, but it's not. It's not the same.
Canelo's trying. He's trying his best, right, to fill it in. But
I made a post the other day. Oh my God, people were mad. I said if Floyd Mayweather came back and fought tomorrow, when Canelo was scheduled to fight tomorrow, he would push Canelo off his
people
date.
would tune into Floyd.
Yeah, and people got mad. Oh my goodness.
Oh, Lalo, I thought you quit.
I know. I told him that the other day too. I was like, I called him and he was like, "Oh, I'm working." What is that? Why?
I thought you quit. How do I jump in? I would have to send you the link, but you guys, I don't know you guys' like names on social media. I can't post the link on here. Doesn't work that way. It's like when Ryan told Campbell, "I'm the best puncher you fought." Oh my God, that was so cringe. Remember that, Freddie?
I don't remember that. No, I told you the kid blocked me.
Oh my God. No, but the Zone posted it after Ryan went with Campbell, like after the fight, he went to his locker room and he's like, "Hey, be honest though, am I the hardest puncher you ever faced? Be honest." I
Well, I would expect him to be. I don't know what his answer was, but I would expect him to be because
he
who else? Linares and Lomachenko? No.
he's just like, yeah, 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 you are. And it's like, but you don't ask that like
Yeah.
right after you knocked him out. Like, what
Tell
the
these people I'm the best fighter you
yeah,
fought.
tell him. Okay, so Lalo is telling us we skipped him. He's at work. Oh my god, Lalo, I was sending you an invite. Oh, but Lalo's gonna be in Vegas this weekend, so maybe link up, make like a little video. Taylor versus Ramirez. So you got break it down. I think Taylor's gonna win a close fight against Ramirez. I think Taylor's gonna be the bigger guy. I think seeing Ramirez frustrated with the lack of fans last time. Obviously now there will be fans and they'll be loud because it's a small venue. But I just feel like Taylor has had a rougher path, like Miguel said, um, uh, you know, to the belt, and I feel like that's what's gonna pay off, as opposed to Ramirez, who kind of had a hard time with Cepeda, which I don't blame him because Cepeda is a southpaw. He's a crafty guy. His other only loss was in another title contention, but he got hurt, so they stopped the fight. Like, Cepeda's a southpaw, whatever. But I feel like he had a hard time with him. He had a harder time with Paso than, in my opinion, he should have. And I know again he blamed it on no fans being there, but you can't you can't do that. So I just feel like yes, my heart would explode if I can just brag about a Mexican being undisputed at the sake of a UK fighter.
I know I share a different opinion than you, and I think Ramirez is gonna win. I'm hopeful Ramirez is gonna win, and I think he's gonna make it his type of ugly fight, and he's gonna pull it off if Taylor decides to fight Ramirez's style of fight. I know that's a dispute. We could sit here and dispute that all night. But who do you think takes over the arena, the UK fans or the Mexican fans?
Depends, because who the fuck got tickets? It depends who got tickets. If Mexicans got tickets, you know they're about to show the fuck up. But if there's any competition for Mexican fans on how they show the fuck up, it's the UK fans. When the UK fans came over here for Fury versus Wilder, they tore the fucking media section down. During the presser, when we were at the press, there was a section they shouldn't pass. They all passed it. They didn't give a fuck.
They
Like
were probably wasted.
yeah, yeah. But UK fans are those type of fans that are so fucking committed and they're so loyal that I feel like they're also gonna show up and they're gonna be singing "Sweet Caroline" and
They're
I
super
wanna.
loyal, dude. Like Raiders
Yeah.
fans, like they keep losing, but their fans are just like the best. It's crazy.
Or UFC fans. That's what one thing I like about UFC fans. UFC fans are so fucking loyal
Yeah.
to their fighters, even if they lose. Mike Muffin has lost so many times, and he still got like so many people thinking he'll beat everybody in the division in
Who?
the UFC. McGregor, but I call him McMuffin.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Chris, are you happy about Wilder winning the arbitration? Damn it, Lalo at work. That's BS that Canelo didn't get pound for pound. Who's pound for pound? I don't do pound for pound lists. I don't do those. But I think I would have, if I did, I would have Canelo on top along with like
Yeah.
the Inoues and the Crawfords, and I would have them on top. You can change them up however you want.
I
I
wonder
don't
who I wonder who it was that didn't have him as number one.
probably ESPN because they
I'm
have
curious.
it's ESPN because they'll have Crawford.
Yeah.
It's just it's more promotional than anything. Canelo is the face. I think it's still Floyd, but if you talk about current actual fighter, if you talk about like current actual fighter, boxing
Yeah.
actual fights, then it's Canelo. But if you talk
Yeah.
about just visibility of the sport, then it's going to be Floyd because Floyd's
He's
is
superseded
still a pound
boxing.
for pound king. I mean, he's still a pay per view king, right? No matter who he fights, and he's
Uh-huh.
proved it. And the money, so yeah. Donaire versus Urbali and Casimero versus Rigo. I'm more excited about Casimero versus Rigo, even though I wanted Casimero to
Me too.
face Inoue. I think I'm more excited. Donaire, I would be more excited if he wasn't old. He's way past. He's taking a lot of punishment. He still got that, that hook, that left hook that he's got is godly. But he's older, so he took a beating too with Inoue. Yes, he gave Inoue the best fight of Inoue's ever had. but he's old and he took a beating, in the last round. And that's another fight where people are like, he should have been knocked out because the ref didn't count or whatever. But, it was a great fight. But I'm more excited about Casimero versus Rigo because Casimero loves to talk shit. And I love that. And he's talented. He had an amazing last fight, right? Like a month ago, right? He had a really good fight. And Rigo was one of the most avoided fighters, in my opinion, right? He was one of the most avoided fighters. And he's one of the guys that you can argue that he didn't get the top fights because he was avoided, right? So it would be nice to see Rigo win. I just think he's also old. Like
Same. I'll
he's
I'll, I'll
old.
be hoping that he wins, but
Yeah,
I
me
don't know.
too.
I don't even know how old he really is. So.
Floyd lost. I don't think it's about that. People are still tuning into his fight. That would make him if Floyd took the September date, came back and took a September date against another fucking YouTuber, God knows who, against the other Logan brother, he
He
would
didn't.
he wouldn't
Yeah.
top Canelo's fight. People will
He
not watch Canelo.
he didn't lose his face. It was his
It
hat.
was
It
his
wasn't
hat.
his face.
Someone said Rollies is the face of Twitter of
That's not
boxing.
how he spells it.
He said Rollies is plural.
Yeah, I don't know why all people. How do you say it? Do you say Rolly or Rollies?
No, Rolly. I call him Rolly.
Yeah, everybody says Rollies. I don't
But I
I don't
think
know
that's
why.
because that's how he has it on his Instagram.
Yeah, but I think that'd be weird if people refer to me as Box Talk 101. Like, if you know my name, just call me by my name.
Or Freddy's.
Yeah, like, do people call
Freddy's.
you Lilies? Do people call you Lilies?
I would hope not. I would really hope not. Canelo speaking English now. Dude, I need to add that to my soundboard where he's like, get the fuck out of here. So when people say some dumb shit on here, I'll just press that button. It's like, get the fuck out of here, man. Get the fuck out of here. Ugh. Let's see. Canelo's his face him now without a doubt. Canelo speaking English. Let's see. I'm stepping down from FaceTime in 2 weeks. It's official. Only part time. Okay. I feel you. That happened to me too. I went part time and then they offered me a raise to go back to full time. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'll do that. So what's up about Wilder? So Wilder won an arbitration case that he is owed a third fight with Fury. So Fury versus Joshua, all those negotiations they had, all that stadium they were building in Saudi Arabia, August 14th, no more. Now he has to fight. Wilder has to fight with Fury. Fury has to fight with Wilder. No more Joshua until after this fight happens. So this is what happened with Wilder, and people are obviously in shambles about this. So Canelo's going on a world tour after the planned fight. What is this world tour? What is
He
this?
is on the world tour. He's on the UK tour right now. Except they're coming to him.
Yeah. It would be cool if he fought over there too. I feel like I would go over there. He fought like a really good fight over there. But who's gonna give him a good fight? I don't know. Oh, Taylor stops him around 7-9. We have a very specific prediction here. I feel like Canelo had hella people watching my Twitter. Yeah. Canelo posts one video and like 10 accounts post that same video of him. No one
Lalo's
got
one of them.
tickets. Lalo, did you get tickets or are they credentialing you because you're Ramirez's best friend? Let me know if you got tickets, because if they're hooking you up at least with selling you tickets, let me get some. I looked up in reseller sites today. The nosebleeds were $500, and then the service fee was $149 per ticket. Yeah, so and I don't want to say nosebleeds because it is a small arena, but the highest seats
Yeah.
are $500 plus, so like $700. And I don't know if I want to do that. No, not for that undercard at least. I feel like Canelo. Oh, I already read that. Taylor has changed trainers to Ben Davison, so jury is at how that goes. Yeah, that's gonna be the thing too. I heard like 400 people able to attend. This fight should have been in Texas. Should have been here. Because none of them are from Texas. I feel like it should have been here because all the Fresno people would come down. All the where you're at, like over there in the Bay Area, would come down to support Ramirez.
Texas, right? Vegas, Los Angeles, doesn't matter. Ramirez in 9.
It says Bomb Squad. People are happy. So did they catch Fury cheating or what? No, they didn't catch him cheating yet. At least I haven't seen any cheating, like actual cheating, like videos and proof. But it's basically Fury was already negotiating fights with Joshua in Saudi Arabia, with Eddie Hearn, Bob Arum, and they were already negotiating a unification fight and a disputed fight. And he owed basically Wilder a trilogy because the first one ended in a draw, and there was, there was a rematch clause, so there was a contract. Wilder and Fury had a contract that they were supposed to fight, you know, twice, but a rematch. But then the first one was a draw, so basically that's what it is. The court was because Wilder felt like he deserved a third fight and Fury didn't. So Fury started just negotiating other fights before settling that case with Wilder. And today the judge ruled for Wilder, in favor of Wilder, that he did deserve a third fight. So now we're probably going to get that before the year ends. Someone's saying Rolly's going to knock out Canelo.
The judge was part of the what's the hashtag? The LDCB whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know what that was until someone told me it was like the ego guy and like the Dante's boxing and stuff like that. And I don't know what that means. I'm just like, okay, sorry, I don't know what that means. Canelo needs to fight another really popular fighter. I think Canelo needs to fight Benavides if he wants that like signature victory. Lalo. Oh yeah, you do go by Lalo because of Regis Progrerius. Regis Progrerius called him Lalo. You're
Regis
Lalo's
Progrerius.
boxing.
I
You're
love
Lalo's
it.
boxing. Adango. Lions Den Boxing Club. Yeah, that's what it is. Just so Canelo can fight Benavides in September. No, he's gonna fight
Plant.
Plant. 78 Sports Ego, etc. Compromise the LDBC. Yeah, I'm sorry. I wasn't aware that that's what it meant, or I knew that's what it's. I just didn't know like why they have such like bad, I guess, reputation. But now I know because of you guys, because you
Do
guys
you
tell
do
me.
you check out any of those other like YouTube like talk show whatever channels?
No, not really. I don't have time. I just like watch interviews and stuff like that because I want to keep up with what they're saying. So I guess I just watch like the big news YouTubes,
Yeah.
right? Like that's it. I don't really watch. I watch like some podcasts, but they're not like oriented to a specific fight or fighter,
Yeah.
or it's just like some podcasts and that's it. But most of them I listen to them. I don't like watch on YouTube. So I'm not sure. They are Wilder Spence fans. Oh, I didn't know that.
I'm a Spence fan. I like Spence.
I like Spence and Wilder. I like both of
Uh
them. I mean, I can see why people don't like Wilder after the excuses.
yeah.
My goal, Devin Haney should end his career already.
I don't think he can do that. What do you mean by beating him? Even if he beats him, like it's not the end of his career if you get a loss. It's not a big deal.
Especially two young guys.
I could understand if you were if it was like if you think Devin Haney is like a power puncher, but he's
He's
clearly
not.
not, and that's okay.
Mm-mm.
He's a great fighter.
How old is Rollies?
I don't know, 25, 26. I'm not
How
really
old
sure.
is Devin Haney? They're both young, right? Like they're both
Yeah, yeah,
young.
they
No
got
one's
time.
ending anybody's career.
No.
No one's ending
They
anybody's
both
career.
dispute with each other that they should each have a loss.
Yeah, and I think they're both right. I told Rolly to his goddamn face, he lost.
I was the first one to tell Rolly that. He called me. I didn't want to tell him. I was like, fuck, that's my friend. I don't want to be fucked up. But
I don't care if he's my friend. I still tell him to this day. To this day. To this day. I tell him he lost.
I didn't want to tell. He called me. He's like, hey, did you watch the fight? I'm like, yeah. He's like, what'd you think? I'm like, I think we should talk about it later.
Let's go
And
to
then
eat first.
yeah, he was persistent. He was persistent. He's like, I want your opinion. I was like, dude, you lost that fight.
I told him and he's like, you're so mean to me. He's like, you don't win a fight with jabs. I'm like, you did more than that, but okay, buddy.
I rewatched the fight. He landed some good punches.
I just don't think Rolly's won that fight at all.
Yeah.
Like, there's no case for you. I don't think you can argue that he won that fight in any way, shape, or form. And I mean, I'm not like a bitch and I'm just like telling him, oh, you lost, oh, you lost. But when he asked me to, I mean, I told him immediately, but when he does ask me, and then when I saw him that weekend and he showed me his belt, I'm like, I did what you did. And I was like, give that shit back.
I didn't want to tell him just because I'm like, dude, the world's about to turn on this kid, and I just think he needs to be around his friends, his family, and people that are supportive. And I just don't want to be another like detractor. You know what I mean? So I was like,
Yeah.
oh, we'll just talk about it later. And he's like, no, tell me what you think. I'm like,
Yeah, but he's not one to like be like, okay, tell me later. He's
even if
not
he
like that.
disagreed though, my biggest thing was like, look, because he's like, oh, I thought I won. And I was like, well, I think you lost. And I was like, and that's fine if you think you won, but just understand you have things you need to work on.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't be a good friend if I told you you did great and you did excellent, and you go in there thinking that next time that you're untouchable and you get hurt, you know.
Mhm.
So as long as he took away from it that he has stuff that he needs to work on.
And I feel like he needs to show that because I don't think he showed that with Avery Sparrow because Avery Sparrow's not an opponent to show that on.
Mhm.
Avery Sparrow's just like a late replacement, right? And that's not out of Rolly's control. But that was a late replacement and he had nothing. And I just feel like hopefully with this fighter that he's gonna fight, he can actually show adjustments because this is a nice little, opponent. It's not a champion, but it's a good opponent in my opinion.
What are you talking about? Ryan Garcia is the interim champion. That counts.
Ryan and Rollies are both cupcake champs. That's not. Who's Canelo fighting in December? Well, if he beats Plant, I don't know. Probably like another cupcake fight. Who do you think he would fight? Let's say he becomes undisputed. Who would be the first defense?
Who's
Who's
next? I
the
don't know.
mandatories at 168?
David Benavidez. But he's not going to do that. You and I
No,
both
he's
know
not.
that. He's
No,
not
he
going to do
won't.
that.
No, he won't. And especially not after he's undisputed. After he's undisputed, he could drop that belt if he wants to.
Let's see. We got David Benavidez. Uh, I don't know who these guys are. Idos, your bossy Noli. Who the fuck is that? I don't know who that is. David Lemieux, Daniel Jacobs, they're all under WBC.
Lemieux, come on. I wanted to see that like back when they were both with Golden Boy before the Triple G fight.
They're both under WBC and WBO.
David Lemieux?
And 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 Lemieux is with and under WBA. Yes, Lemieux WBC is ranked number 2
When
and
was the
WBO.
last time Lemieux fought? I think the
I
last time
I
he
don't
fought,
know.
it wasn't even televised here. It was just like Canadian
I don't know, but you know
TV.
what? He's ranked in like all of these pretty much except for the IBF.
I have not heard about Lemieux since he knocked down Stevens.
Yeah, I don't want to
That was
see
a good
that.
knockout.
I'd rather watch the Benavides fight. Benavides fought what, like 2 eliminators already?
Yeah, he's not gonna fight him though,
He's not. That
which
sucks.
is shit, and we're always gonna give him shit for it. Most folks hated Wilder before the excuses. Yeah, but I think those
I,
excuses only fueled that, and it only
yeah,
made them look like they had reasons.
I liked Wilder. Like I said, I put money on Wilder on both of those fights, and I was bummed out. But after the excuses, I was like, bro,
Yeah, like no more. Danny Roman versus MJ. I actually think Danny Roman beat MJ. And that's not just because I have a crush on Danny Roman, I swear.
I want to
I
see Danny Roman versus Leo.
Yeah, I think that'd be a great fight because they're both like up and close punchers. I think Danny's just too passive and he takes a bit to like warm up. So I feel like that would give Leo a little bit of an advantage. That'd be a great fight. And it's a fight of like losers basically because
Who's
they both got
number one, 122 in your opinion?
Fulton.
Me too. Who do you have behind that?
Danny Roman.
I have
I have a
Leo.
I have a crush on him. I'm sorry. I'm just always gonna say that.
I think by
I would say he was number one if it wasn't for Fulton being so fucking good.
I think Fulton's gonna clean the division,
Yeah,
and when it's all said and done, he beats all these guys, and we look at the fights he had. I think Angelo Leo would have given him the closest,
the
best fight.
best fight, dude. Leo has a tremendous chin, tremendous fucking chin.
Mm.
So I think that puts him like pretty high with his chances with other guys. Figueroa, like I can't believe he beat Nettie. Like that was kind of ridiculous to me. But he has so much to work on. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Like he did not use any of his advantages, and he had
No.
plenty. And
Mhm.
yes, he was the underdog, but he still had these like clear advantages. And he still went down and got on the level of Nettie and like traded with him. In my opinion, he was hurt in the like first, second round. He got caught with some really good shots.
Mhm.
And I'm just like, why isn't he like he's has long as reach? He don't have to be that
Yep.
close. He's
Yeah,
taught
like
us fight. Win
obviously
for
he could
here.
still win a yeah, obviously he could still win a fight the way that he did, but I feel like that's more of like a flip of the coin because any punch could end it, right? So why do that? Why gamble that when you could have a more secure win if you just use your advantage, like your reach and the distance? Like I
In
don't
the
understand.
post fight conference, he said because they knew that he would get tired, that they knew he was gassed and that he had like shitty conditioning. But still, like, damn, like motherfucker, you. So I feel like Figueroa is going to lose to Fulton. I think it's gonna be
I think they all are.
yeah, and I just you know Fulton is just so good, so crafty, but he's also like good puncher. So I just think like a lot of people are like, oh well, he didn't knock out Leo, but Leo has a good fucking chin.
Dude, Leo's fucking great. Again, I think he's the
Yeah, and
second best. It's
that
unfortunate
was
that they fought so
competitive.
soon.
Like,
Yeah.
yes, Fulton won most of the rounds, but it wasn't like a shutout. It was
Hmm.
still competitive. Even you can still have a competitive fight, but still have a clear winner, in my
Hmm.
opinion. And Lalo says he got blocked by Rolly.
I voiced my opinion on a video saying I thought he lost.
He didn't block me, and I told him to his face.
Yeah.
Jackson Macaroni
Only landed.
is not about. See, I don't use combi box numbers. I'm not like a combi box bitch. Do you guys follow developmental boxers? Are the Vargas brothers any good? Fernando Vargas' son. I know he's been pretty busy and he's fighting on the Ring City cards, right? What is it? Ring City
He
Boxing,
fought
Ring
on
City.
like one, I
And
think.
then he fought like in TJ not too long ago.
Yeah, like twice.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He's looking to be pretty good, and he's taking the steps like any other up and comer fighting. Older opposition fighting guys, but it's he's doing what he needs to do,
Yeah.
getting them out of there. That's what he's doing.
I think the general consensus is with the Vargas brothers is the younger it goes in order of like who's the oldest, the better they get because everybody's talking about how the youngest one is the best one. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Uh,
we'll see when he turns pro,
yeah.
but I think the kid's really good.
Alalo says that he also thinks that Roman is the best. I was disappointed in Neri. Thought he would have won. I thought he would have won too, but I guess we also have to remember that he's coming up. And then in his last fight, he also didn't knock out anymore. And this is weight classes matter, especially for the little guys, in my opinion.
I
It's more.
wasn't sure if he looked small or if it was just Figueroa, but Nettie looks small.
Yeah, and again, like these are things that like I think affects like when you're like 147 and up, it's like okay, like you can move up, but more comfortably. But with these smaller fighters, it makes a difference. Look at Chocolatito, right? Like these moves do matter, and I still feel like Neri would have lost to Inoue. So even if he goes back down, he's down there waiting for him, right? So I don't
Or Nettie. He doesn't have anywhere to
Neri. I
go.
don't think Neri is going to be champion again. I just don't see it. Junior says if I was Wilder, I would ask for 10 million. I don't think 10 million is chump change. And then
Yeah.
fight the winner of all the belts. If the fall, yeah.
Not to
The thing
Broner. That's not chump change to Broner.
is, I just feel like for the court order is that Fury has to fight Wilder next. So Miguel brought that up earlier, and he's right. I don't think they can go back and like change it, and that would also take longer. Like we don't need this shit to be more prolonged than it already has been. So I think that's what it is. I don't think he's gonna. Even if they offered him step aside, I don't think he would take it. Is there on the stream fights? I don't do that because I support the fighters. I'm not talking about that on stream. I just say you watch whatever way is more accessible to you and your situation. Do what is accessible to you in your situation. There's ways to support fighters by just, being a fan and showing support that way. And when you can spend the extra money to show support in that way, do it. But if you don't have the means, then you find the means to watch and support in the way that you can, in my opinion. Also, FBI, don't come for me. But I think the thing about streaming is that people feel like it's an act of resistance to stream because they're, defying the shitty cards. Like I'm not paying for this shit, which
Hmm.
is also a valid thing in my opinion. That's valid. Like to be like, fuck this. Like I'm not paying for this. This is trash, and the fans deserve better fights.
Do you think it would be better for boxing if boxing was more accessible to fans the way that like you could turn on the TV and basketball's just on or football or soccer or whatever?
100% because who doesn't want to like watch people get punched in the face? One,
Yeah.
two. I could, me and you could go to Vegas and just grab a random fucking person off the street and be like, if we give you tickets to come see a fight, would you do it? Most of the time, they're gonna say yes because boxing is one of those things that you don't need background information in. You don't
Yeah,
need to
it's
know
two
who's
dudes fighting.
who.
What do you need to know?
Yeah, it's just two guys. You come see them fuck each other up, and you don't need to know anything about them. The history behind it. If it's, you don't need to know if it's like a monumental fight. You don't need to know if it has other, things that will happen. You don't need to know any of that, right? So I feel like that's why it should be, but it's not because of one, the promotional companies bullshit and all the politics that come with it. Because when I was bartending, I remember, I would talk about boxing and everybody gave me the same answer. I used to watch boxing a lot before. Not anymore. Now it's all politics. Everybody, and what am I gonna say? No. I'm not gonna be like, no, you're wrong. I'll be like, yeah. We're like, oh, it's all promotions now, or oh, it's all bullshit now. I can't defend it. I can't be like, no, like it's they're right to an extent, right? So I'm just like, the fuck am I
But I,
gonna say to that?
but I think if you become that casual fan, like those fans that you're probably talking about, probably still tune in to like the most whatever business side fight, like the Canelo, Yildirim, all those fights. Like they still tune into those fights and they miss fights like what we saw yesterday, which I thought was a great event. Like the casuals
That
didn't watch that.
place
I know they didn't.
that place was so dead. It hurt my feelings. The StubHub was dead. I've never seen the
Dude,
StubHub dead. The only time I've seen it dead was when Cecilia Braekhus fought that last HBO card.
that was a great. This last yesterday. It was yesterday, right? Sorry, I have kids.
Yeah,
It was a great card. It was a great card.
it's 2 days ago.
Was it 2 days ago?
Yeah, it's
I have
Monday.
kids. I have like a lot of kids.
My kids are on vacation, so I'm chilling right now.
I'm tired.
But but yeah, like not just that, right? When we see like these Fox cards like on Channel 11, most of the time those are the cards that have terrible judging. So when you're like a casual sitting down, you're like, oh, let me sit and watch this, and you see that like type of robbery happen, you're just like, I don't want this is what you guys are watching. Fuck that. I feel like, right? Because there's always a fight in those undercards that is just so obviously like for promotional, just to keep a guy winning. And I feel like that also makes people be like, no, fuck this. Like, I don't want to watch this type of shit. And I don't blame them. It is just, I think the December fights in the UK, if they open it by then, right? Is the UK open? I don't know. You should
Is
know,
this
right,
a
Eddie? Is
Canelo
the UK?
or what are they talking
Yeah,
about?
I think he's talking about Canelo. Canelo beats plans, drops the belts to fight Triple G. Canelo don't even want to fight Triple G right now. I feel like, and I don't think he has to drop. I think he would make Triple G come up to fight for the belts. No, I don't think he would just drop them to go back down to 160.
I don't think Canelo can make 160 anymore.
No, I don't think so anymore. Canelo versus Ryder. Yeah, he hasn't made since 2019. Canelo versus Ryder. See, I would believe that because Ryder was already there, ready to take BJ Saunders' spot, and people felt like Ryder beat Smith. So I feel like that would be like his next cupcake fight. He does like a cupcake fight, a good fight, a cupcake fight, a good fight. I feel like this would be his cupcake fight. I don't think he's going down and fight Triple G. Netty no defense, and then he's like, yeah, and I just think he's like one of those fighters who not being disciplined catches up to you. Like eventually. That shit catches up to you. Boxing learner. Oh, I like your name. Figueroa's a knockout waiting to happen if he continues fighting this way. Yes, I agree. Hello, Celtic. How are you? Let's see. Okay. We're gonna get our final prediction in because we've been in here for like an hour and a half, almost 2 hours. So we're gonna get our final predictions in so that we can finish. I see someone got there for you, so that we don't keep
Hmm.
you here longer. Nettie fought well, but do starting. Yeah, he fought well, and again, given the fact that I think it's not that he fought well, it's that Figueroa literally like was there for him to hit. Like that's what it is. So yes, we're gonna go into last prediction. Taylor's your pick. Um, I have both. I have both. I make good money in my 9 to 5, and I make good money on the Holy fans. I have both. One thing, I have a degree and that. So last minute predictions. Last predictions. I might change my mind by then, but I don't think I'll change my mind by then unless you. um changed my mind on the way, but I still think Taylor. I'm gonna have to give Taylor the edge, and it's gonna hurt me because I feel like, man, like he's gonna avenge all the UK fighters. And I feel like he's gonna say that shit like post fight when he wins. He's gonna be like, "This for you, Billy Joe. I'm avenging you specifically," because they're both assholes in real life. They're both really bad people. So I feel like they are friends for some reason. And I feel like he's just gonna be like, "This is for all my UK fighters who have fallen victim to the Mexicans. This victory, this undisputedness is for y'all." But how does it happen? I think it goes 12. I don't think Taylor stops Ramirez because Taylor didn't stop Regis Progrerius. And I think Regis Progrerius is just as good as Ramirez.
You watched that fight, right?
Yes.
And it's been a while. I watched it, and when I watched it, I was kind of
Yeah, it was a
busy.
long. Yeah, I was
But
drunk. I was in TJ.
what did you think? Was it close?
I think it was close. I know the only people that say it wasn't is the UK fans, but I think Regis could have won, but he was too passive in the later rounds. And it's like, bro, you're in the UK. You don't got the luxury to take your time. You don't got the luxury to take rounds off. You don't have that. You have to be twice as busy because you're in their turf. So yes, I feel like a lot of people had Regis winning, right? But they didn't have him like beating him by a landslide. You know, I
Do you think that outcome would have been different if the same fight, same exact fight, had happened in the
here,
U.S.?
no,
Yeah.
no, I think they would have given the nod to Regis because to me, I had 115, 113 for Taylor.
Mhm.
I had Taylor by one round, but I think Regis Progrerius took the fucking like he in the second half he kind of started like being too passive, letting being less offensive, right? And I think that he knows that, right? I think that now he knows that and he's like, damn. But it wasn't like Taylor just washed him. And I feel like, we haven't seen, and I don't know if we will see Regis versus Ramirez, but I think they're both up there. And I wouldn't know who to pick in that fight with both of them. But I feel like because Taylor didn't stop Regis, and Regis is also like a pretty good fucking guy, I don't think he's stopping Ramirez. I just think he's gonna win a close decision. How
I
about
still
you?
got Ramirez by stoppage.
What round?
Probably like the ninth.
Does
I
he
think
do
he's
him?
gonna. I think he's gonna draw Taylor into his type of fight, which is a brawl. And I feel like Ramirez is more tested in every way. We know Ramirez can take a punch. We've seen it. Dude has a super solid chin. I I don't know about Josh Taylor's chin. I'm not sure.
I mean, he got hurt by Baranchik. You don't know
Yeah,
that? You
but
don't
I
know
mean
that?
Branchik's a great fighter. Branchik's a great
He's
fighter.
heavy. He has
But
heavy handed. Yeah.
yeah, but I just feel like the consistency of like Ramirez is just it's. I feel like he's very overwhelming.
Now, do you think he does him like he did Hooker, where he like Hooker's
Maurice
fucking
Hooker,
neck
but
was
but
like
later. I think it's kind of like I don't. But see, the thing is, I feel like Maurice Hooker took those very clean, and then he was just like, doing the
Hooker
what's
was
the
like, hey, when the neck goes like he's
yeah.
done, and then
You know
he
those
got him with
things
like
that
two more punches on the way down.
you know those things outside of the stores that they put air in, and they're just like
The inflatable tube thing.
yeah, like that. But I think Josh Taylor will probably be like, or he'll probably be like, covered up or whatever. He just won't be punching back. I think the ref is gonna stop it.
Oh, he said, "Do you want to make wager? Is that a bet? Is that means like bet?"
A bet. Yeah, I already
Okay.
made a bet. I took Vegas odds because I know people have asked me all the time. They're like, "Oh, you want to make a bet? Like, let's bet $100." But I can bet my $100 in Vegas, and it's worth more because Ramirez is the underdog.
He is the underdog.
He is the underdog.
Oh,
I bet $100, and if I win, I get like $900.
one guy on Instagram wants to bet me $500 that Caleb Plant beats Canelo.
Wait, he's going for Caleb Plant?
Yeah,
You better take his money.
I want to tell him $1,000 to get the fuck out of my DMs. Just sound like a badass, but I've never bet before. What if I
Yeah.
bet and then now I jinx it?
No, if no. No,
And that's what
that's
I'm
not
like.
gonna happen.
I'm like, Canelo's not losing to that guy. Like,
That's not a that's not a risk. That's not a
I
gamble.
feel
You
like
need to
he
take
had
that
more of a
money.
shot to lose with Billy Joe than with Killer Plant.
Yes.
I just, I just no.
Yeah.
500 make 10K on Canelo. See, and yeah, and then here, like, I could just make the money because I can't take those odds in Vegas. They have Canelo. But yes, obviously, Freddie, tell people where they can follow you, both on
You
all your
could find
socials.
us, yeah, on YouTube, Box Talk 101. Just search it. Instagram, Box Talk 101, Facebook, Twitter, you name it. Box Talk 101.
Yes, and we shall be in Vegas this weekend. So if you're there, say hi, buy us drinks, and we'll see who wins. I hope Ramirez sports talk with Troy. Hello. So Ramirez in 10 or 11, he'll wear Taylor down. So similar approach to what Box Talk said. So yes, okay, we got them here. We don't want you guys later to say, "Oh no, I meant this." So that's what we got today. You guys have a good night, and let's see, we can go live after the fight if we're not drunk already. But you guys have a good night. Bye.